Hi, and welcome to the Zohar Splendor series on the Jewish calendar. I'm Moshe Gersht, and together we're going to journey through the depth and beauty of the holidays inspired by teachings from the Zohar, wisdom of Kabbalah, and Chassidus. So we often think that our happiness, fulfillment, and sense of meaning comes from external circumstances, our relationships, work success, or achievements. And when you think about it, how many times in your life do you find yourself looking for joy in something that's outside of you? But the real magic happens on the inside first. Life is ultimately an inward journey. Every meaningful transformation begins as an inner shift, an awakening of clarity, an understanding, and a wisdom within ourselves. And the Jewish calendar, surprisingly enough, is a powerful roadmap for exactly this inner journey. It's more than just holidays and traditions. It's actually an ancient, carefully structured guide toward deep, ongoing personal growth. It's about self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment. Every year we cycle through the same energies, the same opportunities, but we're never the same. We always come back wiser, clearer, and more deeply awake each time around. And as they say, we never step in the same river twice. That's because the water keeps moving and we keep growing. So even though the energy is similar, it's not the same. And even though we might look the same on the outside, on the inside, we've gone through a lot. You can also think of the Jewish calendar and the yearly cycle as a spiral staircase. Every year we climb a little higher, revisiting the same themes and challenges from the year before, but each time we encounter them, we see them differently because we're different. So here's how the cycle unfolds. There are two main phases to the calendar: the distinct focus on inner and outer, letting us develop both our inner being as well as our outer doing. So as we'll see, the winter months of the Jewish calendar invite us inward, mirroring nature's darkness, where our growth comes from reflection and introspection. And ultimately, it's about receptivity. In other words, it's about our perception of the world. In contrast, the summer months bring increased light, paralleling our need for actively expressing, manifesting, and integrating these inner insights outwardly, making the Jewish calendar a harmonious dance. It's like the yin and the yang, the inner being and the outer doing. So if we're thinking big picture, the winter is more about perception. So we start with perspective, inner alignment, the joy of clarity with a readiness to live this way. Then as we get deeper into the winter months, in the dark we grab onto gratitude for what is and hope for something better. And as we come out, almost stepping into the spring, we tap into trust that's rooted in surrender. Then as we start the spring, moving through the summer, we move into the world of expression. So we begin with freedom and personal empowerment, followed by behavioral integration, and then clarity and insight as a channel for something more. And then the rest of the summer, we do the best that we can to live and express our talents and gifts, as well as our abilities. So deeper into phase one, receptivity and perception. In the fall, we begin with Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The calendar guides us inward into a deeply reflective time, a time to pause, to look inside, and to ask critical questions like, who am I really? What's serving me? And what do I need to release? Am I truly open and ready to receive insight, inspiration, and guidance that's available to me? What's my purpose? These and other questions are what Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are about creating that inner space, letting go of limiting beliefs, judgments, and fears. A period of clearing and resetting. And all of that moves us into Sukkot, where we then stabilize and ground ourselves into those big insights of who we're becoming. In that joy and clarity, we step forward, trying to begin the integration process. Then as we go through the winter, Chanukka and Purim help us cultivate this readiness. Chanukka reminds us that even in the darkness, even when we can't fully see the path in front of us, gratitude for what we can see right now creates clarity. There's hope even in the darkness. Purim then teaches us how to integrate that clarity into our identity so we can remain balanced, joyful, and resilient even when life feels unpredictable. Notice how this inner phase coincides with winter. It's colder, it's darker, it's quieter externally, which naturally draws us inward. Kabbalistically, this period relates to the feminine energy of the moon, known as Nukva. Like the moon, Nukva symbolizes receptivity, reflection, and emotional depth. This is our time for preparing ourselves internally. It's about patiently creating space inside to later receive deeper clarity and inspiration that we can express outside. Phase 2, freedom, channel, and expression. So as the calendar moves into spring and summer, we shift gears and begin expressing outwardly what we've cultivated inwardly. Passover, Pesach, is the celebration of freedom. Freedom not just in theory, but freedom to become who we truly are, to express our authentic selves in the world. The 7 weeks of the Omer that follow help us build this wisdom into daily practical actions, habits, and relationships. It's a time where we're working on behavioral shift. This phase peaks at Shavuot, a moment of deep receiving, divine communication, and spiritual insight. Discovering the clarity of our purpose and our mission, and then bringing it forward. We learn to embody the wisdom outwardly and expressing it through action, courage, and humility. The rest of the summer ends in Tisha B'Av, a sober reflection point, showing us what happens if we try to manifest without humility and integration. It reminds us that real growth isn't about perfection or ego-driven accomplishment. True spiritual power needs humility and balance to endure. The end of the summer is the reminder that even though Purim, which is the climax and the apex of the winter, we can get to a point of inner geula, of redemption, of seeing a world clearly. That's all in our perception. But until we get to the overarching messianic era where everyone is aligned and things are perfect on the outside, we come back to this place of mourning, where we recognize things aren't finished yet. We still have a lot of work to do as a community and as individuals. So in the summer phase, nature reflects back to us the outward movement. The days are longer, brighter, they're filled with more visible activity and growth. Kabbalistically, this active expression is called Zeir Anpin. It's a force of manifestation, creativity, and clarity. So if Nukva was about patiently receiving wisdom, Zeir Anpin is more about courageously and authentically bringing that wisdom into reality, ultimately without ego and arrogance. So think of Nukva as the state of being, that patience of receptivity, and Zeir Anpin as a state of doing, active, clear, and expressive. Our growth comes not by favoring one over the other, but by harmoniously integrating these two aspects of ourselves. The real beauty of this journey is in the harmony of these two forces, the inner and the outer. Without proper balance, we fall into common pitfalls. Too much inner reflection can make us live without action, passive and indecisive. Too much outward action without inner preparation can lead to burnout or arrogance. The real transformation that we're looking for, the ultimate enlightenment, is about integrating these two forces so seamlessly that being and doing become one. Ultimately, life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. It's all a gift. Every moment, every challenge, every experience is a divine gift guiding you towards your highest potential. The calendar isn't just a bunch of dates and traditions. It's not just a bunch of holidays that we do. It's an invitation to consciously live life, a life of profound meaning, continuous awakening, and deep joy. The journey isn't about perfection, though. It's about continuous growth, becoming who you truly are, and that's what makes life so beautiful. So as always, remember, your spiritual journey isn't something separate from life, it is life itself. Every step you take, each insight you uncover, is another way that you can reveal the divine within. I'm looking forward to sharing more of this journey with you together. Wishing you blessings always.